All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to Vet Muscle Podcast. This is Alec, and obviously you know who I am, most likely, if you're listening to this, because why would we have followers on our first episode? I'm here with one of my best friends, Hugo De La Rosa, is going to be like my partner on this podcast. So we'll introduce ourselves, talk a little about who we are, what we're doing with this podcast, and we'll just see where it goes from there. So Hugo, go ahead, tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you're doing.
All right, what's going on, everybody? As you said already, name is Hugo De La Rosa, 27 years old, served in the Marine Corps from Southern California, Orange County to be more specific. And, we're here just to kind of bridge the gap to a lot of veterans, a lot of the friends, a lot of the buddies that we've talked to and experienced. Some of the things that we're going through, and just bridge more connections. That's what we're here for.
Right, exactly. I think that's just one thing. I mean, me and you are both. I mean, we probably have different things going on. I know, like mentally, it's not what you think when you're gonna get out. Like, yeah, it's cool. You're like, fuck yeah, dude, 214, I'm out, motherfuckers. And so I don't know what the word I'm trying to look for is, but eventually, like, it kind of like hits you, that it's like not all just like a fucking fairy tale once you're out, and you actually, it's different, it's different than you expect. I mean, I don't know about you,
yes.
Dude, but for like me, when I got out, like it was fucking awesome for like 2 months, and then, like your paychecks stop coming in, and you realize, you're working at like. You go from crash fire rescue, where your job is to like save fucking pilots' lives, and protect like multi-million-dollar equipment, and then you go to working at 24-hour fitness handing out band-aids. It's a little bit of a mental like punch to the nuts, like you know what I mean? Like,
no, most definitely.
It hit me for like, I mean, now it's like whatever, I'm going to school, I mean, you're doing the same thing. What are you going to school for, actually?
I'm going to school for business administration, man. It's just like the general prerequisites to get into like a business side degree.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was actually talking to my chiropractor today, because that's what I want to get into is chiropractic care. And because he was telling me he did like a pre-med degree, not knowing what he was going to get into after when he started doing it. But he was like, yeah, if I can go back, I would do like a business management or a business finance or like some sort of business degree, because I mean, in that field, you're most successful running your own practice.
Running your own practice. So the
I don't
nuts
know.
and bolts.
That's what I mean. I'm working towards exercise science degree, which he's like, yeah, that's still good because you're gonna get all like your chem classes and all that shit. But I don't know. That's something to consider. I might minor in business or something.
Yeah, minoring in business is always a really good thing though too, because it's like, that's the thing that I love about like the med school approach. To almost anybody that wants to do a med school approach. A lot of people think that they have to track themselves in only into med, and it just makes it easier to transition into med school. It makes it easier to get used to the verbiage nomenclature, but you can study anything you want, and then applying to med school, it's just going to be a little bit more difficult.
Right, because that's what he was saying. He was like, yeah, you really only need like certain prerequisites. You don't need to like, I mean, it's probably different, if you wanted to be like a fucking surgeon or some shit, but
no, it's the same.
Oh, really? It's the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same, because once you're in med school, that's when you actually start
learning
going into the processes.
True. Yeah, I didn't really
diversifying.
That's why you go to fucking med school for 4 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Depending on where you go, I guess, and what you're doing. But yeah, dude, fucking. Another thing I wanted to talk about too was, I guess like us doing this is kind of like the perfect example, and it's something that I didn't really realize until the last probably 3 or 4 months, probably after I finished my last show. And it's the friendships outside, like the friendships you have growing up, like those are like fucking cement, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like your childhood homies. And then you get to the military and it's like rebirth of that, you know what I mean? It's like you're getting childhood homies all over again, except you've only known them for we've only known each other for 4 years?
Yeah.
About 4 years?
4 years.
Yeah. And yeah, that's right. We did ITX around August. So yeah, it had to have been like 4 years. But I fucking hated you before that.
19 pull-up pass, bitch.
Yeah, no, but it's like so like it's like you get it's like the same thing all over again once you're in the whatever. I'm assuming it's the same for all the other branches. I mean, I can only speak for the Marine Corps, obviously, but you know, it's like we get out and you don't really think about it. You're so like tunnel visioned on getting out that you don't realize that you're like not seeing these motherfuckers like anymore. It's just like one day you're like chilling with all these dudes, and the next day they're gone. And then like once that tunnel vision goes away, you're kind of like, oh shit. I mean, like me, I moved. I mean, you moved to a new area. You live in San Francisco. I mean, you moved there right
Yep.
after, right?
Yeah, I moved there right out. Well, it was like a 2-month transition to basically save up money, and then he was just moving
Yeah,
into a
but
brand new
essentially
location.
2 months. And that's like right when you get out. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Where you don't know anyone, and it's like, yeah, you know, I've met tons of cool people here in Colorado, but I don't know, dude. It's just not the same. You know what I mean? Like, even my girlfriend, she's like, why don't you just like hit up so and so and go do something with them? And I'm like, well, they're just like my gym friends, you know. Like I just hang out with them when I go lift. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know, dude. It's different. You
No,
know,
I feel you on that, man. I think it's just like a level of significance. We bridged such a like faster and made such a deeper connection so quickly with all our military friends, all our military buddies. Because also you have to understand that, you know, like we forget about it, but we're around each other 24/7.
right? You
Everybody.
think that's what it is? I mean, not even.
Oh yeah,
You know, because everyone's
definitely.
like, yeah, you know, it's like we went to fucking war together and all that shit, you know. And it's not even like me and you, like we didn't even deploy together, but yet, yeah, you're probably one of the closest people I'm closest with, and you know what I mean. But it's like, is it that just the factor that we spend literally every fucking moment together? You know what I mean? Like work
No, I mean,
together and
I think of it like it's a two things. I mean, the time, yes, the time, because you need time to develop any sort of friendship or relationship with anything, right?
right.
But also at the same time, like, do the values correlate? Like, do we have the similarities that we can also like co-function, right?
That's true. Yeah.
And I think that, you know, that's why, you know, you're in contact with very select few individuals out of the 20 or 30 individuals that were in close relationship to us while we were serving, and the same thing with me, you know.
Yeah, I guess if you
And
really think about it like that, I mean, I
it's
only
not
talk.
like you're in contact with the whole entire.
You're right. You know, I'm not
with all,
talking
the
all.
entire section, bro. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't really. That's true. I guess I guess it's just like anything else, you know.
But I think like, you know, meeting people outside, that was one thing that even with my ex, she would tell me that all the time. The same thing that you said, like, oh, you know, hit up so and so to go hang out. I'm like, no, but you know, it's not really like they're not that kind of a friend. Like,
Right.
they're just
Yeah.
somebody
Like.
who I kind of got along with, but I know that if I go out with them, it's gonna be just like going out just to go out. Like, what the
Right.
hell's the
Exactly. You know,
point
I
of
have
that?
people I can hit up and just go like party out and go to the bars and shit with. But it's like I don't. You know what I mean? Like there's not like it's different. You know, like I don't have someone coming over kicking it on my couch and just bullshit and they're like, you know, just like eat simple stuff like that. Like I don't know, man. It's weird, you know. And I
Also,
think
our
I'm still
humor is
getting.
mental.
Yeah, the humor. You know, it's completely different. You know, like we can't even talk on this about like some of the shit that, like we still talk about.
Exactly.
But I don't know, man. You know, I'm still getting used to it. And what's funny is I posted that video on Facebook about you know, like a lot of, you know, like getting out and like falling into like almost a depression and the loneliness and pretty much everything we've been talking about, you know, finding new friends and,
Yeah.
you know, just trying to find the same worth, you know, working like a fucking retail job when you just came from, you know, doing whatever you were doing in the military. And I posted that and I got so many other people reposted it that like, you know, I either went to like boot camp with or just the people around that were getting out around the same time as me that I went to like fire academy with or whatever. And so many people were like kind of venting like literally the same things that we're talking about. And it's just crazy because I thought like I was just like being a bitch about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, you hear about people getting out, you know, and it's like you always hear about the PTSD and which is obviously way fucking worse than this. But you don't ever hear about this side of it. I feel like, you know, everyone kind of just puts on a mask and pretends that like they're just so happy to be out. But in reality, like I am, you know, I got a lot of things like I'm happy about, you know, obviously like with my dogs, my girlfriend, you know, just everyday life is way less stressful. But it's just, I don't know. There's still certain things you miss.
See, this is the thing, though. I feel like a lot of military service members, and very specifically also mentioning Marines, were a stitch of a very particular cloth. And so we have a very driven mindset, a very like mission, goal-oriented, focused mindset. And so when we're stripped away from that environment where we have always something to do, always something to accomplish, there was always a mission at hand.
Right.
There was always a sense of purpose, a sense of drive, and a sense of urgency, which can also be very detrimental to our health. And that's why the military is one of like the most debilitating jobs in the world, because of that stress level.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it also gives people who are that high functioning, driving people in chaos and crazy environments that can function very, very well and systematically take everything down. It gives us the ability to thrive in those environments. And that was one of the things that I struggled with when I got out, man. When I got out, I was anti-commitment for everything. And I'm talking about, people say, oh yeah, you're just anti-commitment. Like, no, to the extreme. Like, my ex would ask me, hey, do you want to go in this place? I'm like, ask me the day of when we're about to go and do it. It was so insane that to the point that I felt myself shutting down, that I needed some time to completely let go of this process of always having something to commit to, that I knew I needed to readjust and rebalance and tweak.
Uh-huh.
And as I moved up here and got us, relocated into a brand new area, and like you said, trying to establish new connections, trying to bridge that military to civilian gap, it's really been a very enlightening process, in some ways good and in some ways bad, about things about myself.
Mm-hmm. Overall, do you think the are you happy with your move to San Francisco still?
I am happy with my move to San Francisco, just because I know the opportunities that I have here are going to be great once I start taking a little bit more charge of my own life. And that kind of taps into the thing that we're talking about, that I kind of lost track of a little bit of who I was, and I wasn't realizing it.
I think
kind of was like, I was kind of drowning it out. You know how you said you put the mask on?
Uh-huh.
It was one of those. But we're also taught to not focus on our emotions, keep task oriented, right?
Right.
And when I know for me personally, I took that to a whole nother level, because that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to do that. I wanted to have that absolute killer mentality, where it was like whatever needed to be done got accomplished no matter what.
Right.
And I know that actually took away from some of the stuff that I could have experienced while in the service, but also served me very, very well.
Right. That's exactly. That's exactly. It's like exactly how you were for the entire time I knew you.
I know, and like I know, like it created a lot of tension. It created tension even between you and I, but it was like, you fall back to the strengths, and it was like, what were you trying to get out? And everybody was trying to get something out of the military.
Right.
And that was what I was trying to get on. So that was my main emphasis and focus. But now out here, actually, the last month, actually, believe it or not, and now we're looking at almost 2 years out, and I'm finally coming to the realization that this is something that I need to face, about a little bit of the depression, a little bit about this loss and sense of identity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. Wow, I can't believe you've already almost been out for 2 years. That's crazy. I forgot. When is it? October? Is that when you got out?
November, bro.
November. Yeah. Yep. Wow, that's crazy. That's fast.
Isn't that crazy, bro?
That's crazy, dude. I can't even believe that. I guess I've already been out I got out May 1st of 2017, so I'm already been out for a year and a couple months too. So
yeah.
That shit goes by fast. It goes by fast, man.
Yeah, you're 6 months behind me, right?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. Yeah, my actual boot camp, EAS date was in June, but I got out like a little over a month early.
Oh, okay. So 7 months, yeah.
Yeah, so like 7 months, but yeah, man. So, dude, there was one. Yeah, I was talking about you earlier about client wise, and I'm kind of like taking the shift off all the other stuff. I'm gonna kind of save some of the juice for future episodes. But kind of like caveating off the military stuff and shifting into fitness, I was like walking my dogs last night. I actually started to make a video, and then I was like, actually, I'm gonna save this shit for tomorrow. Um, and I was kind of like, I've been getting like a lot of like inquiries this week for like new clients and stuff like that. And I was kind of like going back and looking at previous client transformations.
Yeah.
And I got quite a bit, you know, like a lot of I think civilian side females tend to stick with it way more. But I would say majority of my clients, which majority of my clients are like normal everyday civilian, you know, whatever, like just college kids, stuff like that. But majority of my best transformations are all military kids, and not just Marines. You know,
Yeah.
it's been mainly Marine and Air Force, a couple Army or like one Army, but it's weird. You know, like everyone that sticks to it the best has been military, and I think it just goes to show like you don't even realize it. You know, like even like the shitbags, like that you would like. I don't want to say names on here, but like people that you don't see as being like disciplined, really stuck to plans. You know, like they put their fucking work in, man, and they stuck to their shit and they got good ass results. And I'm like, why can't like other people do that? And I'm just like, what I'm trying to do right now is figure out how I can get other clients to kind of have that mindset. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yo, that makes sense. So you're saying more so the approach of trying to get clients who have that particular mindset,
right?
Instead of trying to rehearse those clients
obviously
who do
I'm
not
not gonna
have
fucking,
that mindset.
They're not gonna go through fucking 4 years of military, 8 years, whatever it is, to get that like instilled in them. But I'm just like, why is it so dramatically different? You know what I mean? Like, why is it only my military guys and girls that are getting like these awesome fucking results? And then, I mean, other people still are.
I think it's because we're mental athletes, man.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
I think even, you know, in you know, one of the most amazing things that I still even think back in the military is when I was sitting the day after, or the next day after being on those damn yellow fucking footprints, and I have this menacing looking sergeant, and I had just barely learned rank, with this goddamn hat, drill instructor hat, tipped so low that you could barely see his lips and his teeth, and just yoked, just jack nasty, with this goddamn dress uniform just sticking to him, looked like it was spray painted on, and he's up there just yelling and screaming. And I was able to detach a little bit from the process a lot of the times during my boot camp process, and kind of like rethink and reevaluate, like, okay, you know, like, don't get just programmed, don't just get conditioned. You need to also take the programming and the conditioning that they're giving you and infuse it into aspects of yourself that will allow you to be a better version of yourself. And one of those things that really stuck out to me is like, you know, I mean, I can't speak for the other services, but I know, I mean, all the military has the same approach,
right?
Is that we can take this civilian, this no good, this disgusting, vile thing, off this filth off the street, and turn them into a goddamn United States Marine in 12 weeks.
Right. Fucking high school
12
kids.
weeks. 12 weeks, and I will turn somebody who is completely inept, completely incapable of functioning by themselves on their own, and turn them into outstanding and proper, like, in a proper functioning society, like civilian of society.
Right.
And to me, like, when he said those words, I was like, that's nuts. That's fucking insane. But it's the mental conditioning that we went through that made us these mental, you know, it's mental warriors. But I like to think of it as an athlete, because not everybody has that warrior mentality who goes in.
Right.
But you become an athlete because you learn to, you know, basically like maneuver these obstacles that life throws at you. And everybody has that same programming. You went through the same training.
Right.
I went through the same training. You know, we could start naming off guys, all of them. And
right.
Like I said, we can name names of guys who we don't think as disciplined, but yet they still have the same training. And when they want to kick it in,
which is a perfect example. What's my point is that it's not like they're fucking, you know, it's not like we're getting injected with something that automatically makes us this way. You know what I mean? Or
exactly.
like it's something that's inside everyone for the most part, you know?
Oh, it is.
Is that majority of people have it inside. It's just some people just have never had to, use it. And so something as simple as sticking to a somewhat regimented diet, they can't even handle that. You know what I mean? And
you always speak about this thing, which I really love all the time, man. When you post on your Instagram, it's like it's not about motivation. It's like it's not every day I don't wake up with motivation, but I have the discipline to do what I need to do.
Exactly. I fucking live by that, dude. Like, shit. Yesterday, my motivation, dude. I felt like yesterday I was gonna conquer the world. Like, I opened up my laptop yesterday. I did nothing on it, but I still felt like I was about to conquer the fucking world.
You just felt good.
Dude, I don't know why. You know, I'm typing in youtube.com. And I'm like, but I'm doing that shit like I'm about to take over YouTube. And I'm just like, you know, and it's like the next day, like today, I wake up and it's like polar fucking opposite, you know? And but, you know, I mean, I still, like, got everything done I needed to do. I went to all my classes today, did my homework, today's my off day from the gym, so I didn't work out. But, you know, ate my meals. You know, it's just like, it's not like motivation's gonna be gone. You know,
Yep.
that shit comes and goes fucking quicker than anything. You might have it 1 minute and then think you'll pay someone, hire a coach, your fucking homework, you know, bust your ass at your job, and then the next minute is gone, and then
That's it.
You know, if you don't got discipline, man, you're just gonna fuck off. You're not gonna get anywhere.
You got to learn to rally yourself, man.
Exactly.
You know, that's the thing though too. Like we're used to also having a team.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, as Marines, as military servicemen, we always had a team. We always had buddies.
Right.
That even in the times that we didn't even know we were down, they would also help pick us up and get us moving. And that's one thing that, you know, like we're lone wolves. A lot of us are lone wolves because a lot of us have moved away and entirely from our support base, you know, and we don't have those people who can understand our mentality and kind of some of the struggles and the internal battles that we're facing. Right. Even though we're on the outside, we appear prim and fucking proper. Like, look at him. Still has a haircut. You know, like still proper, you know, like might have a beard, but it looks groomed and tight. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the appearance can be very, very deceiving in that
Dude,
sense.
You know what's funny is you always hear about, like, you know, like people are like, oh yeah, I could spot a Marine, you know, by the way he carries himself and all that shit. And it's funny. I started school last week, and in my math class, there's this kid he was infantry in Pendleton. I think he got out like a couple years ago. I think he got out around the time you did. Oh, yeah. But it was funny. He doesn't wear anything that says he's a vet or anything. He's got that stocky fucking build, like Savage. Yeah. And
fucking Savage.
He's got, dude, like the same tattoo style that Savage has on his arm. That one, I don't know if you were still in when he got it, but
I know which one you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, like it's like the same tattoo style. I'm like, that's like a San Diego style tattoo. Like, I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I know this kid was like in Pendleton doing something, and just had that look, and I was just like, so I fucking, as soon as class ended, I was like, were you fucking Marine? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, no shit. I'm like, were you fucking infantry? He's like, yeah. Yeah. And I was like, that's cool, man. Like, where are you stationed? He's like, Pendleton. I'm like, dude, I fucking knew it, like everything. And yeah, it was funny, but yeah, man. So fucking I don't know. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, there was something actually kind of in touch with school, you know, like school is another challenge, you know, for a lot of veterans, because we get out, and I think that it's a challenge. It's easy, but it's a challenge. But because it's easy, I feel a lot of us don't put in the proper amount of work. Maybe I'm only speaking for myself, but I mean, I've also spoken to a couple other guys.
Dude, I fucked up my first semester pretty bad.
Yeah, you see, and it's like it's very easy to do, and then sometimes we hit the wall where like, oh man, school is so hard. I just remember, you know, you put in 100-hour work weeks.
Right, it's not hard. You know?
Yeah, you've done some insane shit on very little to no sleep, on ration food. You know, like you've done way more physically, mentally demanding, emotionally straining, right? Exercises, not physical exercise, but you know what I'm talking about,
right? Mental. I know exactly what you're saying.
So it's like,
I think people underestimate it, honestly.
Yeah, put it in perspective, though.
I think a lot of people really do understand. underestimate it when they get out. You know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get out and go to school. You know, and they kind of just like, yeah, you know, I'm just gonna fucking pick up with not going to school for 5 years, and I'm just gonna fucking do it again. You know, and then it's kind of like just like a fucking slap to the face, and you're kind of like, I wasn't prepared to put in all the fucking work. That's why I fucked up my first semester so bad. But you know, now it's like night and day difference. You know, just because it's like my third semester now and fourth semester. Yeah, you know, you got to put in the work. You know, and then you realize how it's really not that hard at all. You know, it just takes effort like anything else. And I don't know, for me, I just for some reason didn't think I needed to put in that effort when I first got out, and then I was like, it was a very rude awakening for me.
No, without a doubt. And I mean, it's also too because, you know, people's benefits ride on that. It's like, you know, I know for me, even some of the struggles that I even have sometimes is I'll tell myself like, oh, I don't need to show up to this class because I'm already know I'm doing so well in the class. Like, you know, showing up is 90% of the battle. You know, my dad used to always tell me that shit, and it's like, it's so true. Even just you showing up, it's just, it does so much for you to staying on track and being able to like take on the load.
That's literally when I started this semester. That's literally what I told myself. I told myself I am not missing a day of school unless for some reason like I'm in the hospital or you know something like serious. But I am not missing a day of school because I don't want to go. And that's what I did last year, dude. I had a 7 a.m. class and I just wouldn't get up some days, and I'm just like, fuck it. I'll see what she posts on the online part of it and read the lecture myself. And yeah, dude. Now I'm like, yeah, it don't work out. And so this semester, I literally told myself I will not miss a single class. And so far I'm doing good. But I mean, it's it's week 2, so we'll see.
What are some of the things that kind of like going back? Like, what are some of the things that you did to like personally adjust, man? Like, what were some of like the like just a little bit, not too much.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I did it like the most bumpy way possible. I feel like I let it hit me hard. Since I was not prepared at all. I thought I was. I was like, yeah, I'm fucking prepared. I did TRS. Like, I made this shitty ass resume. I'm fucking set. I got a LinkedIn with no profile picture. Like,
me too, bro. 2 years and I still don't have a profile picture.
No, my girlfriend bullied me into building that up, but I don't know. I think I went down like the roughest road you possibly can. Just by not being prepared mentally at all for. I just thought it was going to be some glorious thing when I got out, and I was going to somehow have a great job and do great in school and just have no worries whatsoever. And then now it's like I'm applying to fucking work at Safeway or fucking Nordstrom Rack, and can't even get hired to some of these places because I have no retail experience or I have no server experience, so I can't be a fucking Red Robin waiter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like, it's, I don't know,
bullshit barriers to entry,
right? And I'm still working on it. I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to start this was maybe so I wanted for other people to be like, oh wow, I'm not the only person going through that, but also for myself. I don't know about you, but I think just like opening up about it just is going to help a lot too.
Oh, definitely, because it's always interesting how kind of some of these things happen. I'm a believer in energy. I believe that we definitely draw and attract. What kind of energy we're emitting. What kind of even our own mindset can I close us off to opportunities or can create even more problems. Depending on the mindset that we have and the viewpoint, the lens that we're looking at our lives through, and literally about, I want to say, when I was saying like it hit me the hardest about a couple months back. I actually had a discussion with a random guy at my gym, ended up being a vet, an army vet. And I started opening up a little bit about him and talking to him about some of these things that we're discussing now. And it's like he said, he's like, it's good to talk about it. It's good to acknowledge it. And he's like, and just like anything else, you got to confront it. Right. And he's like, and you're going to have your dark days. You're going to have those days where you're fucking great. You're going to be riding this emotional roller coaster, this fucking crazy ass wave. And He's like, you just got to take all of that and take the experience and build and just keep building, even if it's, like, they say like a one step at a time. Fuck that. Even if you're shuffling forward, at least you shuffled forward.
Right. Exactly. That dude. Yeah. Honestly, I think that's. I didn't. I think it was probably like 6 weeks. It was before my trip. I just did, and I just felt like I was just like it was almost like every other day. Like I was getting in fights with my girlfriend about it, just because of how fucking down I was, and I was just like bringing it onto her, and it was like it's not her fault,
Right.
but it's because I wouldn't acknowledge it. I was like, I'm fine. I don't need to talk to anyone, and I was actually gonna talk with a therapist just to fucking talk to someone because I just like I didn't know I don't know I just you're in like this new area. I felt fucking alone regardless of who I was even with, and I don't know, I think just literally just acknowledging it and kind of like speaking about it a little bit is like created such a relief. I like you said, I still have my darker days and I have fucking days I feel phenomenal like yesterday, but I don't know, I think just opening up about it kind of like getting it out in the air and just like it makes it so much better.
Yeah, it's not this daunting. There's not this cloud hanging over you.
Right. But I didn't
It's
even
not.
realize it though. That's the thing, It took me a while to realize what was going on. I just thought that's just, I didn't even understand what was happening
Yeah,
for the longest time.
and it's pretty. Like it's dope that you said about bringing it on to others, because it's something that you know as you're also learning to understand even what it is that you're going through. Your partners, your family, significant others, whatever the hell people the closest to you may be, and if it's affecting them, they also need to understand. And the better you understand it, the better they'll understand, and the better
Right.
both parties will be able to work with each other. And I know it's a big thing, with guys in the military who have previous relationships, or entering into new relationships. There's just so many crazy like dynamics and things happening all simultaneously and at once,
Right.
that I feel like it's like you said, you don't even know what's happening. It just kind of just gets lost in the wind.
Exactly. How are they going to fucking know what's going on with you if you don't even know what's going on with you?
Right.
And, but, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm on the up, I feel like I am improving every day and doing better. I'm really hoping this helps a lot too. And, just keep staying busy, man. I think that's just the big thing is I have so much time, so much time to sit into my thoughts. So much time to sit into my thoughts, especially fucking, being like when she's fucking at work all day and I'm fucking just me and my fucking pets. And I'm just like, fuck, dude, my thoughts get racing and I don't know, dude. But anyways, man, I think it was good. Oh no, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
a lot of people think that thinking and sitting in their thoughts is a bad thing. We're in a society that we also think that we always got to be busy, always got to do things, and I think there's a time and a place for that. One thing that I want to like let you know and let everybody know also, that when I was injured, so I was sidelined for a while because I tore the ligament off the top of the kneecap, which didn't allow me to walk or barely even have any sort of motion for a very long time. And I was sidelined to just my couch, where my couch is where I slept. And it was because that was the easiest place where I could even like remove myself from my sleeping area. And I wasn't watching TV. I wasn't doing busy things. And I literally was sitting a lot in my thoughts, and I couldn't be active. And so I couldn't get this like physical release that a lot of people are able to get. And it showed me a new way and a different way to be able to handle these things. And like you said, you acknowledge what's going on and take the time when you do have the time and the availability in that moment of silence to appreciate those moments of silence with yourself, and allow yourself and give yourself that moment of self-awareness and self-reflection, because it's very precious. And the better you get at it, the more skilled you become at reflecting your own internal struggles and your own internal battles. Not only are you going to build yourself exponentially, but you'll be able to dictate and advance through all these other situations that you're going to see on a daily basis, that people that you see as they make their moves, you're going to be able to help them if see fit, or even just outmaneuver them if need be. Like if this is somebody who might be destructive because of these actions or this, you just get a lot more sense into the psyche, into the state of mind of not only yourself, but to, also to everybody else, man.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I honestly forgot. I realized that you, like, I remember obviously you tore your quad because your leg's tiny as hell, but I didn't really think about that, dude. Like, my fucking release is going to the gym and I've been going for like 2-3 hours a day now, and I was like a 40-minute workout type person, and I've been going like 2-3 hours, dude, just because it feels so good to be in there. And that's like, fuck, if I didn't have that release, dude, I don't even know what the fuck I would do. It's insane how, like, it sounds so cliche, like, oh yeah, like, I go to the gym, it's my release, but like, dude, that shit's my fucking therapy, man.
No, it is therapy. Not a lot of times it's not bodybuilding, it's not working out, it's pure fucking therapy.
Right. It
really is.
It's crazy, like, it's just like nothing. You get in the gym, dude, and it's just like, fucking, all right, time to fucking pump it. And I don't know, it's good. It's good to have, I mean, I don't know.
It's a positive outlet,
Right, exactly. It's better than going to the bottle,
Sure.
Which I'm sure plenty of people do. I'm glad that I never got in. I was drinking so much last summer, dude, and I'm so glad I stopped that, because if I was still getting into these shitty mindsets now while with that much drinking, dude, it would have been fucking destruction. But now I have like margaritas and shit whenever I go out for cheap meals, but that's like the most of it for really. But yeah, man, it was pretty good. It was almost like 30 minutes or so, or I think longer than that. I don't know, how long did we talk? Like 40 minutes?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's good.
It's a good starting point, yeah?
Yeah, man. So, shit, I'll probably upload this and see what happens. But, yeah, man, good chat. Thank you, everyone, for listening. If you stuck around this long, I know it's our first episode, so we'll probably get like one listener. But you know what? If this shit helps one person, man, like, whether I know them or not, like, there goes my dog. So I guess this is a good spot to end it. Thanks for listening. I'll shoot you a text, bro.
All right. Later, man.
All right. Peace out.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.